Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So today I thought we have another extract from Valentine Lowe. And lo and behold, it turns out her staff uses the same nickname I always use and so many other people. Narcissistic sociopath.
Hi everyone.
Sociopath,
Good
psychopath.
morning.
Oh, let me
Good
get the volume here
afternoon.
down. So glad you called B here. Hi, Just Joy. Hi, Lucky Lass. So I haven't actually read through it yet. I'm going to read through it. And as I go along, I read it for the first time now. And as I read along, I'm going to throw some cards. If my camera will work for me. I don't know why my camera wants to freeze up all the time. So hopefully, okay, it's working. Yeah, so as I read along, I'll throw cards and see what's going on here. There's a lot of allegations. And yeah. So let's see. Harry, Meghan, and the Survivors Club. We were played. I found it interesting that they said they were played, right? On top of all the other things going on, they felt played. I'm like, Put upon palace aides insisted that they tried to help the Duke and Duchess and handled a string of PR disasters. But the couple ditched them anyways, reveals Valentine Lowe in our second extract from his book. It's normally a standard part of a royal tour, the moment when the royals venture to the back of the plane where the media sit to say hello and have a chat. But the tour of the South Pacific by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in 2018 was different. It had started out with a bang, with an announcement that Meghan was pregnant, and the couple had proved extremely popular in Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and Tonga. Nevertheless, Harry had looked out of sorts. His relations with the media pack had been prickly and strained. Where, Me- where Meghan smiled, always putting on her best face whenever she was on show, Harry glowered. On the five-hour flight back from Tonga to Sydney, his press handlers promised that he would come out and thank the media for being there. It was only after the plane had landed that the couple finally appeared. 5 hours. Wow, I didn't realize the flights were that long between Tonga and Australia. Uh, you think it was just not that far away. 5 hours. That's a long flight. And they didn't come back once to say hello, thank you, nothing, huh? Wow. I remember the scene well. Harry looked like a sulky teenager. Meghan stood behind him, smiling benignly. Her only contribution was a comment about how much everyone must be looking forward to Sunday lunch at home. That's odd. It's probably what she was thinking. Like, what? Harry sounded rushed, as if he couldn't wait to get back to first class cabin. Thanks for coming, he said, even though you weren't invited. Wow, what a nasty thing to say. What got into him to say that, do you think? Maybe we should look at that first. Not that you were invited. He got really snippy there. Real attitude. I mean, this is somebody who grew up with the media and whatnot, so why does he suddenly have such a problem? I mean, I know he had problems before. He's paranoid and whatnot, but is my camera acting up again? My camera looks okay on my side. Oh, there it is. Okay, just a little delay. All right, I see. Never mind. Everything's good. All right, so let's look. Why was Harry suddenly so snippy after maybe 5 hours on a plane with Meghan drove him crazy? I wouldn't want to be stuck on a plane with her for 5 hours. That'd be like the worst torture ever. So why was Harry so snippy towards the press saying thanks for coming even though you weren't invited? What was that about? What was that about? Why was Harry being so snippy at that moment? Why was Harry being so snippy? I'm using the Triona Trionfi della Luna tarot deck from Deviant Moon. Okay, well, this flipped over. What's this? The Star. So Harry was feeling the pressure of being in, with Meghan, the star there, the two of them with their star treatment. They were being feted and treated so wonderfully by the media at that point. I mean, don't forget, this is 2018. Okay, this is early on. And they really hadn't received much criticism at all. In fact, quite the opposite. Everybody was defending them, defending them. Nobody really had much to say because they didn't know Harry and Meghan at all. They didn't know Meghan at all. But Harry was looking, okay, so the Star is about making your plans to leave. You see, he's looking at through his binocular there, and he's pointing to a distant star. Harry couldn't wait to get out of the royal family. They were both impatient to be done with this. Harry wanted to go. He wanted to leave. Six of Cups. He wanted to leave and start a family. He's like, I want to be out of here, but I want to go and move to California and raise my children there or wherever. He had him and Meghan was of course feeding him ideas as well about their plans to leave, is what I'm getting here. Because I don't see, there's no reason here for him to be so snippy. He didn't want to do what his parents did. This is like a parent teaching the child, here, these are your duties. You're a royal family member, here's your duties. And Harry hated that. He was like, I have a distant place. I'm going somewhere else. Me and Meghan are moving over there, other side of the ocean. And he did not want to do this. He did not want to do the royal thing. He's the one that didn't want to deal with the press just as badly as Meghan. Two of them together. That's what I'm getting. Five of Swords. Oh yeah, look at that. See, yeah, nasty, very nasty, deceitful. That their whole plan, the fact that Harry wanted to leave the royal family, they knew this from day one, but they were living a lie. Five of Swords. They were living a lie, pretending that Meghan's going to be a team player. Yeah, we're going to be working with the royal family, and instead they were lies. It was all lies. Everything about Harry's a lie. It's coming out more and more with Meghan, and they had no intention of staying there. He couldn't wait to be done with it. That's where his petulant attitude came from. Because he knew they didn't know yet. They had no idea that Harry and Meghan were planning on ditching the royal family. This was spectacularly rude. Yeah, but there's still no reason to be rude. I think that Harry's just kind of dumb. Even if he's dying to leave, it's like being at a job that you're dying to quit and you're gonna quit. So then, but usually it puts you in a better mood because you're not going to be there much longer. So you just enjoy, the little bit that you have left. Like, okay, I'm not going to be here this time next year or whatever. So whatever. But instead, Harry's just always angry. I think Meghan just keeps him angry. So Harry was rude and incorrect. The media had been invited to cover the tour. Later, Harry's staff told him how badly his remarks had gone down, and he replied, quote, well, you shouldn't have made me do it. What? How old is this guy? You shouldn't have made me do it. And so Harry's blaming his assistants for the fact that he acted like a petulant teenager doing what he's supposed to do as a royal. You see how it is? They don't take responsibility for anything. They never apologize. If Harry was half a man, he would have gone back and apologized for being rude. But instead, he said, "Come on, you made me do it." So Harry's petulant behavior revealed how much of the couple's deteriorating relationship with their own staff. So bad things eventually became that Harry and Meghan's team would later refer to themselves as the Sussex Survivors Club. The core members were Sam Cohen, with whom the Queen had personally asked to step in as a private secretary, and who worked for the couple from after the wedding until the end of their South Africa tour in September 2019. Sarah Latham, the former Freud's PR managing partner, hired in 2019 to be in charge of communications, and the assistant press secretary, Marnie Gaffney. Sources say the team came up with a damning epithet for Meghan, a quote, Narcissistic Sociopath. They also reportedly said on repeated occasions, quote, "We were played. We were played." What? What? Let's take a look at this. They were played. I mean, I don't know if that means something different in Britain or, but I take that when you say you're played, it's like you were conned, like you were, like as if they, said one thing and did something else. Why did they say they felt played? I'm not really sure exactly what they mean by that. We're played. They felt played to go on this tour with them, and it turns out they're a nightmare or something. I mean, woo! Oh my goodness, all these cars just flew over. Okay, so I'm getting 2 of Cups reversed. So I get the feeling they knew that they weren't, Harry and Meghan had no intentions of cooperating with them or doing anything they were supposed to do. So, they have these assistants here who are like there to help them, and Harry and Meghan didn't want them, didn't want to deal with them. Page of Swords, a lot of nasty words, a lot of fighting, not working with them, not listening to them. Oh, Ace of Cups reversed. Very upset, very unhappy, lots of complaints, very emotional. Sun, maybe about the fake pregnancy, and the Magician, the PR here. So that, of course, Harry and Meghan, now remember, this is 2018. This isn't 2019 when they went to South Africa to say, nobody asked if I'm okay. This was in Australia when Harry and Meghan were a big hit, right? So it was a huge story. It was a very successful tour, it was considered at the time, with the Magician and the Sun, with the PR. But behind the scenes, Harry and Meghan were not being cooperative. They were being as disrespectful. And you see this 2 of Cups, there's a pregnant woman there, a fake belly bump there. They were not cooperative. They were snippy and snotty and critical and screaming and yelling and screaming all the time. And they made everybody was miserable. They were the most unhappy couple. Meghan knows how to put on that fake smile, the rictus grin, but behind the scenes she's nasty and screaming and yelling. Yeah. Yeah, the scams. Like, what do you mean scammed though? Like, I guess they thought they were gonna be a fun, nice couple, and it turns out they're a nightmare. That's what I'm getting from that. Like, they're really horrible to work for. They're not the new fun couple at all. Despite, okay, diamond earrings. Okay, we go back to the diamond earrings from MBS, right? Despite being aware of the tension in the air, none of the media on the plane realized quite what was going on behind the scenes on the South Pacific tour. One key incident that sheds light on the relationship between Meghan and her closest aides occurred in Fiji when Harry and Meghan attended a state dinner hosted by the president. I'm going to say his name wrong here, Gioji Conrodi, to which the Duchess wore an eye-catching pair of chandelier diamond earrings. Kensington Palace told the press they had been loaned, but refused to say from whom. The reason for the reticence would not become apparent until more than 2 years later. The earrings had been given to the Duchess as a wedding present by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. Mr. Murder of Khashoggi, the journalist. Wow, there she is, proudly wearing them. On October 2nd, shortly before the start of the tour, the journalist and dissident Jamal Khashoggi was murdered. Just 2 weeks in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The event became a major news story with accusations that the crown prince had personally ordered the killing. The idea that Meghan would then, at a state occasion, wear earrings given to her by a man accused of having blood on his hands was surprising, to say the least. All right, so let's look at these blood earrings that Meghan wore of the murderer person that she's obviously good friends with. She's hanging out at the Terror Mosque, making cookbooks. First thing she did, Now she's wearing his earrings at a state dinner on a huge tour. So let's see. Was Meghan sending a signal by wearing the earrings? Was she saying, I support you, MBS. We're murderers. That's what we do. We're Marxist communists. We're going to destroy the Western world together. Yeah. What message was she sending? Or did she just not care? Did she just like, I like the earrings. I'm wearing them. What was her real? Was there a message here with the wearing those earrings, or is she just being like, I don't care. I don't care where they came from. Just give me the earrings. Ooh, oh my. Okay, so I've got Lovers reversed and King of Cups. So I take it that her and MBS are very tight together, but it's secretive combining there. And I don't know. I think this is could be MBS King of Cups here together with this. So she was definitely um, secretively showing her. I mean, this was a nod to him because we all know Meghan always is giving a nod to this or a nod to that with everything she wears, from her ring to her earrings to her bracelet. So it's not an accident that she's wearing those earrings, right? It's not like maybe a person who doesn't pay attention to details just puts on whatever. Like that's not Meghan. Meghan pays attention to every little thing, and because she knows her pictures are going to be everywhere, and then she's got her Meghan's mirror, so every little thing. So she knew exactly where those earrings came from, and she was undercover showing her alliance to MBS here. She was giving a nod to him. She's teamed up with him in a major way with the Lovers. He's helping her. He's helping her. World reversed. He's helping her to bring in this new world order and destroy the royal family, justice with their social justice warriors and all that. This is all part of the new world order. Black Lives Matter, Marxist communists she's bringing in, and whatever else that she's doing here to destroy the West. Yeah, this is all part of it. Yeah, for sure. So she knew exactly who those earrings came from, and she wore them intentionally to signal to MBS, because of course MBS would see the earrings in the media, and he could smile. Yes, she was still telling him how she still supports him in destroying the Western world, the New World Order globalist thing she's doing. So, anyways, yeah, no accident there. That was definitely a signal to MBS that she's on the same page and she supports him, right? Meghan's staff were bemused that she would should wear them. Kensington Palace briefing that the earrings were loaned was misleading, but who was responsible? Cohen told colleagues at the time that the earrings had been borrowed from the jeweler Chopard. It was not true. So they ran cover for Meghan. Look at that. They're running cover for her. They all knew exactly where it came from. 3 weeks later, Meghan gave the earrings a second outing. So, so one time wasn't enough for Meghan. She had to wear them again and again. So even after she knew exactly what she was doing again. But remember, at this time, nobody knew where the earrings came from. It was a big secret. We hadn't uncovered. It took 2 years to uncover this. So Meghan's enjoying that nobody knows where the earrings really came from, and she's just going around like a big laugh on everybody. Like, you idiots don't even know where these earrings came from and what they show. But we found out. We found out. Everything comes out. Truth always comes out. 3 weeks later, Meghan gave the earrings a second outing at Buckingham Palace at then Prince Charles's 70th birthday party. Prince of Wales. At the time, Cohen still appeared to be under the impression that they had been loaned by Chopard. So maybe Cohen was lied to. Meghan probably lied to her, no doubt. However, others knew the truth. When they first appeared in the media after the Fiji dinner, staff in London responsible for registering details of all royal gifts had recognized them and alerted Kensington Palace, a source said. Quote, "We made a decision not to confront Meghan and Harry on it out of fear of what their reaction would be." Wow. They were so afraid of dealing with Harry and Meghan and setting them off that the palace did not confront her about this. Right? This is how difficult Harry and Meghan were to deal with. Harry and Meghan try to play like they're victims, but in reality, they were pushing everybody around. Meghan is a thug. She is such a thug. After the Duchess wore the earrings a second time, an aide decided to take it up with Harry. He is said to have looked shocked that people knew where the earrings came from, although the Sussex's lawyers deny he was ever questioned about the provenance. So yes, this is a joke. Harry and Meghan having a joke. They both knew because they're both in on it, right? I guess. This is how sick and twisted Harry and Meghan are. Their little jokes. Meghan's wearing a murderer's earrings. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Nobody knows I'm wearing the earrings of a murderer. Isn't this great? And then Harry has the audacity to say Trump had blood in his hands. Oh my God, Meghan's walking around with blood diamonds from a murderer. That happened 2 weeks earlier. It was all over the news. I mean, that's the bold audacity, of evilness of these two. Oh my goodness, so evil. In February 2021, Meghan's lawyer Schilling said at no stage did the Duchess tell staff that the earrings were borrowed from a jeweler. I'm gonna say that right. Jeweler. As this would have been untrue, and therefore any suggestion that she encouraged them to lie to the media is baseless. This is what Meghan's lawyers are saying. Oh, Meghan would never lie. She's not a bully. I thought you love her lawyers. That's why Meghan's always suing everybody. She wants to have her lawyers around running cover for her and lying for her. Wow. So now they're trying to run cover here. 2 days later, and then 2 days later, Schilling said, quote, "The Duchess is certain that she never said the earrings were borrowed from a jeweler. It is possible she said the earrings were borrowed, which is correct, as presents from heads of state to the royal family are gifts to Her Majesty the Queen, who can then choose to lend them out to members of the family. But that is not convincing. If the earrings were loaned by the Queen, staff would have said so, and no one in normal conversation would ever have referred to them as being loaned. They were a wedding gift for Meghan." Right. They were a gift for Meghan. Meghan's lawyers also argued that she had no idea about Sheikh Mohammed's involvement in Khashoggi's murder. Such a lie. What a liar. That was all over the news. Everyone knew. However, Meghan once told a gathering of International Women's Day that she read The Economist because she sought out, quote, journalism that really covers things that are going to make an impact. Between mid-October and early November 2018, the Economist ran at least 2 articles examining the role of Sheikh Mohammed in Khashoggi's murder. Yeah, I mean, this was all over the media. Every single journalist in the world went crazy for that story. It was everywhere. There's no way Meghan could not have known. No way. Even if you didn't read The Economist, it was everywhere. It was all over Twitter. Harry's on Twitter all the time, Harry and Meghan. They knew. They knew. Everyone knew who did it. There was no question about it. Insane Row with a women's rights group. Oh. That was not the only time in Fiji when the public narrative did not match what was going on behind the scenes. While the couple were in the capital, Suva, the Duchess paid an official visit to a market to see a project run by UN Women to improve the lot of women working there. She was due to spend 15 minutes meeting women there, right? So Meghan, the big feminist, she loves everything dealing with women and women's rights and everything else. So Meghan should have wanted to stay there for hours, right? Didn't happen. However, just after 8 minutes, she was rushed out. The Kensington Palace press office was sent into a panic, with sources initially claiming that she had left early because of, quote, security fears. That was later changed to concerns about crowd management issues. Uh-huh. Another reason for her premature departure did not emerge until 2 years later, when I was told it was because Meghan was concerned about the presence of the UN Women's Group, which she had previously worked with. The Duchess had earlier told her staff that she would only go if there was no UN Women branding, a source said. Before Meghan arrived at the market, staff did their best to reduce the visibility of the group. However, footage of the visit shows Meghan surrounded by women in blue tops wearing the UN Women logo. At one point, the Duchess, with a fixed smile, can be seen whispering to a member of the staff who grimaces. Meghan told an aide, quote, "I can't believe I've been put in this situation." Moments later, she was ushered out. A staffer remarked at the time, quote, "That's insane. She is nuts." One stallholder said, quote, "It's such a shame. We started preparing for the visit 3 weeks ago, but she left without even saying hello." Afterwards, the staff member to whom Meghan spoke to at the market was seen sitting in an office car, tears streaming down her face. The coverage included the headline, quote, "Pregnant Duchess rushed from market as crowds close in." All right, so I believe that. Meghan has such an attitude that if one thing isn't right the way she wanted it, boom, I'm out of here. Take me out of here. All right? Because I remember there's something with the UN Women's Group. She wanted to be an ambassador and they didn't like her because nobody likes her. So now she holds a grudge against them. Yeah. Yeah, they were lucky, exactly. So let's see, is that it? Was that really it? Because she saw a couple of UN women t-shirts that Meghan decided, is that why? I can't believe I've been put in this situation. Is that why Meghan ditched? Well, why did Meghan ditch after 8 minutes? Meghan couldn't be there for 15 minutes, really? 15 minutes of work? It's too much for her? And we're supposed to believe she's up at 5 a.m. every day doing this and that and everything. Yeah, she's up at 5 a.m. because she's high on coke and whatnot. And she says she's on allegedly, in my opinion, because she's probably up at 5 a.m. because she's been up all night and because she just wants to be on Twitter all day. She's on social media, maybe texting people to say nasty things to them. But anyways, let's look. Avoid Twitter at 5 a.m. Meghan will be on there with Harry. Why did Meghan leave after only 8 minutes? Not even working the full 15 minutes. Oh my God, what a nightmare she was. Right from day one. This was her first tour. She couldn't even handle it, right? So why did she leave? Why did she really ditch after only 8 minutes in the market? To meet the women's group, to empower women. Ooh, yeah. House of God reversed, right? This is Meghan with her pretending to run for her life with security fears or something. Yeah, there's Meghan. This is Meghan pretending like she has to rush out here, but she was just being evil. This is like the tower reversed. Yeah, it was supposed to be. They said it was very hot there as well, but so what? The whole tour was hot. That's no big deal. Yeah, there's Meghan rushing out. Yes, justice again. Yeah, so she felt it wasn't right. Yep, Five of Wands, Five of Wands, because she's competing with UN. All right, at the time, Meghan felt or is competing with UN women because she hates them now, right? Because now she's a duchess. So she felt it wasn't right that she had to see her competitor there. So she's like, I'm out of here. I'm out. But see, she went out for a secretive reason. She was rushed out with the security, and they tried to claim it was security issues, but that was a lie. It was because she didn't feel it was right. She didn't want to see them. She's competing with them. She's saying "F you" to the UN Women's Group. So yeah, it was her, you know, being judgmental and saying, this isn't right. It's not the way I want it. We got to go back now, right? I said, I don't want to see you and women's group, and you didn't do what I wanted, so we're out of here. Wow. She had her staff, crying. The coverage, including the headline, quote, "Pregnant Duchess rushed from market as crowds closed in," caused massive consternation with Scotland Yard. The Metropolitan Police suggested flying out an officer to ensure she was being protected properly, despite private assurances from Kensington Palace that the incident had nothing to do with security. Had to do with Meghan's attitude. The Duchess's head of security resigned from the Met a few months later. Why did the Duchess now appear to want to distance herself from UN Women? The reason is not known. In 2015, when she was an actress in Suits, Meghan had accepted an invitation to be a UN Women advocate for women's political participation and leadership. But by 2018, she appeared to be less happy to be associated with the group. Her lawyers told the Times in 2021, quote, "This is completely false. The Duchess is a keen supporter of UN Women and has never objected to their branding. The only reason the Duchess was evacuated from the event was due to safety concerns. This was a decision made by her head of security. She met with other leaders for UN Women later in South Pacific tour." That's a lie, because they have video of her talking to her security person and then leaving. So she shunned the help she was offered because she didn't want any help. She would just want to leave. 2 years later, Meghan's narrative would once again be at odds with the memories of those who once worked with her. Yes, recollections may vary again and again with Meghan. Everybody's recollections vary with Meghan. She's nothing but a pathological liar. In her famous interview, in my opinion, in her famous interview with Oprah Winfrey, another liar, in my opinion, in March 2021, Meghan takes pains to highlight the differences between the Queen and those who surround her. In Meghan's account, they were the people who refused to help when she was in her hour of greatest need. There were ones who who would perpetuate falsehoods about her. So this is a typical liar. They accuse everybody else of lying. Oh my goodness. Watching Meghan describe how she considered ending her life in the year after her marriage was an uncomfortable experience. Yeah, uncomfortable. Yeah, that's not what normal people would call, if they were really suicidal, you wouldn't call it uncomfortable. So yeah, everything she does, everything's a lie. She has no authenticity, this person. That's what gives her away as a sociopath. She was just doing that to be manipulative. Again, tried to attack the royal family. Ay, ay, ay. And yet a succession of perfectly decent people, all of whom believed in Meghan and wanted to make it work, became so disillusioned that they began to suspect that even her most heartfelt plea for help were part of a deliberate strategy that had one end in sight: her departure from the royal family. Yes, that was always the plan from the beginning. They believed she wanted to be able to say, quote, "Look at how they failed to support me." Exactly, exactly. Exactly. It explains all of Harry and Meghan's behavior. Really, their attitude, their nastiness, their dismissiveness, everything makes sense when you consider that everything was planned for their departure. They planned to leave from day one. But the thing is, they don't care who they throw under the bus to do it, right? I mean, they turn around and blame everybody else for their petulance and their insolence and their violence, and claim, "Oh no, it's all their fault." Even though they were doing it to have an excuse to leave. Sam Cohen, who had 17 years experience working at the palace, would frequently say to Edward Young, the Queen's private secretary, and Clive Alderton, Charles's private secretary, that if all went wrong, the palace needed evidence of duty of care it had shown to Harry and Meghan. So they knew. They're like, we have to document this stuff because Meghan's going to be coming back and making false accusations. They know when they're dealing with a criminal. The duty of care was crucial. Quote, "Sam was a broken record with them on that." Yeah, see, Sam Cohen could see it coming. She's like, "You better keep the receipts on these two because it's going to come back and haunt you." And sure enough, it did. Lie about everything. But by the time the Oprah interview, everything the palace had done to support the couple, including giving them a team that would have done anything to help them succeed, was forgotten. Instead, Meghan was able to point out all the times the institution had failed her. See, it's always about failing Meghan and disappointing Meghan. You can't fail Meghan, right? Everything's going to be the way she wants it. And if you fail her, well, then she's going to abuse the hell out of you and go on Oprah and blame you for everything. You made her suicidal. You failed her, right? Why should anybody be trying to do anything for you, Meghan? You're a nobody, nothing loser, 2-bit actress that nobody cares about who wears murderers' earrings. You're nothing but a criminal who supports murderers. Instead, in my opinion, instead, yeah, they failed her. So one of them was when she said she felt the head of HR. She went to the head of HR, where she was given a sympathetic hearing but sent on her way. Oh, yeah, look at her trying to act like she was a humble servant here. This was the inevitable. This was inevitable. HR is there to deal with employee issues, not members of the royal family. Meghan would presumably have known that, and I'm sure she did, and Harry did as well. But Meghan needs a good story to play the victim and lie, lie, lie. She's a liar, pathological liar. She probably never even went to HR. She's so full of it. Or she did go to HR. She probably talked about something else, and she just wanted to have a record of saying she went there. Meghan would presumably have known that. So what was she doing there? Laying a trail of evidence would be the cynical answer and the truth. With Meghan, you got to be cynical. Meghan and Harry. Another former staff member goes even further. Quote, everyone knew that the institution would be judged by her happiness. And can you believe that? Yeah, the entire institution being judged by Meghan's happiness. Wow, what power that witch was given, huh? And she utilized every bit of it. What a nasty piece of work she is. Nobody's tried to make that witch happy. She's a witch and should be treated like the witch she is. Criminal she is. I hope Samantha and her lawsuit makes her pay through the nose. The mistake they made was thinking that she wanted to be happy. She wanted to be rejected because she was obsessed with that narrative from day one. Yes, she wanted to be able to say, you're a racist. So I think Meghan, I'm going to ask, I think Meghan was obviously purposefully as difficult as she could be. I mean, I think she's a difficult person. She always has been, but she was being especially difficult and nasty and abusive because she wanted them to do something to react to her so that she could say, oh, look what they just did to me. You're racist, you know? So, yeah, was Meghan going out of her way? Was she being nastier than usual to try to bait them to do something so she could play the victim with her staff there? Was Meghan like nastier than usual to try to bait them? Yeah, okay, King of Wands. Harry was particularly nasty to instigate them. You know, that comment, not that you were invited, he was instigating them as well. Harry, very emotional here. Didn't want the truth here. Being very aggressive, forceful here. Queen of Swords reversed. The lies, 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 and nastiness. And of course, Justice reversed again. I keep getting the Justice card with her because it's the social justice thing, right? It's the Marxist, communist, BLM, Antifa thing where you accuse everybody of racism in order to push your Marxist agenda, right? So yeah, and one of the things they do is complain, 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 and cancel culture. Cancel culture as part of the whole thing is to go around destroying everything through complaining. And so Meghan thought she could destroy the royal family through this new force that Meghan thinks Meghan does have the backing of the globalists, right? With Obama and Oprah and George Soros and Clinton. So she had their force behind her. So her job was to get Harry riled up, right? Especially Harry, and get everybody all emotionally riled up, and to be in order and make up a bunch of lies, be deceptive in order to falsely accuse them of being racist so that she could try to tear down the royal family with the help of Harry. So, and it's in the public eye. It was basically Meghan was trying to cancel culture the royal family, right? That's basically what she was up to. Yeah. So she was being extra so Meghan was getting Harry all, teaching Harry to be nastier. I mean, Harry's nasty too, but she was egging him on and getting him going more, and she was also being nasty. And the whole idea was to attack the royal family because as an excuse to leave, which they wanted to do even before they married. So, um, yeah, and the whole thing with making money, so monetizing Meghan and ditching loyal staff. In view of another insider, oh, well, I forgot to say, the mistake they made was that thinking that she wanted to be happy. She wanted to be rejected because she was obsessed with the narrative from day one. The narrative, yes, the PR narrative. Because of course she wanted to break the internet while she was at it, right? So she wants to destroy the royal family, break the internet, become a star in the BLM, Marxist communist movement. So monetizing Meghan and ditching her loyal staff. In view in the view of another insider, one of Meghan's concerns was whether she was going to be able to earn money for herself given her position in the royal family. Although Meghan was not making money out of her deals, her US agents were negotiating all the time. This is in 2018. She did the voiceover for a Disney wildlife documentary in return for a charitable donation. Some suspected that in the end she wanted to make money, and the only way she could do that was by leaving her royal life behind and going back to America. Well, yeah, she didn't want to be a royal. She doesn't respect British culture or royal family. She couldn't care less. And Harry wanted to leave. Obviously, this was their gig from day one. Did Young and Alderton grasp the issue that was confronting them before it was too late? It seems not. When Jason Knauf, the Sussexes and Communications Secretary, wrote to Simon Case, Prince William's private secretary, making an allegation that Meghan had been bullying staff in October 2018, Case passed it on to the head of HR, Samantha Carruthers, who was based in Clarence House, but Clarence House sources have always insisted that it never crossed Alderton's desk. That sounds like a lie. Let's see if that's true or not. See, everybody's trying to ditch responsibility. Nobody knows nothing. I didn't see that. I didn't hear that. I don't know what you're talking about. Same thing's going to be happening with these, snake bites too. Watch everybody dive for cover. The CDC is going to be like, it was the FDA. And the FDA will be like, it's the CDC. I didn't have anything to do with it. Everybody's going to be shirking responsibility for everything, right? I didn't, like Fauci came out. I didn't lock anyone down. That wasn't me. It's like, yeah, it was you, Fauci. Anyways, everybody's going to be, this is what I'm seeing here too. So the question I'm going to ask here is Samantha Carruthers, basically the head of HR. She's trying to claim that she didn't see the bullying allegation. Did Samantha Carruthers, did she see the bullying allegations about in 2018, October 2018? Because, stuff like this comes up and people just pass it off. Knight of Swords reversed. Bullying there. Page of Cups. Oh, yeah, she saw it. She didn't believe it. She knew. She saw it. She just thought they were being over emotional. She thought Knauf was being over emotional and thought or misinterpreting things or because the whole idea with bullying, it's like, well, she's just American, it's cultural, so you have that whole thing to push through with this, at the time. So yeah, so they didn't. I think Samantha Carruthers saw it and she just dismissed it because she didn't take it seriously at first. She didn't realize what she was dealing with. Who would have suspected you're dealing with a narcissistic, psychopath, right? Because you've got a whole. If you don't know anything about that, you got a whole study there to learn a whole, criminal thing here. Anyways, part of the problem, according to one source, was that everyone in the palace was too genteel and civil. Quote, when someone decides not to be civil, they have no idea what to do. They were run over by her and then run over by Harry. Exactly. And that's what narcissist psychopaths do everywhere. They are just vicious. They're vicious and heartless and nasty AF. I mean, they have no guilt. They have no empathy. and they're violent. They can be potentially very violent. The situation was not helped by Harry and Meghan's deteriorating relationship with Alderton and Young. Quote, as things started to go wrong, a source told royal biographer Robert Lacey, Meghan came to perceive Young as an inflexible bureaucratic figure who summed up what was wrong with Buckingham Palace mentality, and the feeling was mutual. Young really came to dislike Meghan's style. Harry was just as dismissive of the two senior courtiers as Meghan was. An insider said, quote, he used to send them horrible emails, so rude. Wow. So Harry was very rude to the courtiers, and of course, not everybody liked Meghan. They could see what they were dealing with. Hmm. Wow, I'm sure he has some good stories to tell us. And I see another book coming out. When Harry and Meghan went to Canada for their 6-week break in November 2019, their escape plans were already laid amid greatest secrecy. Meghan would not even tell the nanny, Lauren, where they were going. According to one source, she did not know where they were going until the plane, private jet, was in the air. So again, this one shocks me. So Megan has the nanny with a baby. She's like, "Oh, hey nanny, we're gonna go for a plane ride. Well, where are we going? Oh, I'm not gonna tell you that. It's a secret. Just get on the plane." It's like, "Well, where are we going? Just get on the plane." You're in Britain, and you've got this poor British nanny who no doubt has family and a home in Britain she wants to go back to, and she gets on a plane. Where are we going? Just get it. Oh, we're going to Canada. Can you? And Megan doesn't tell her until she's on the plane and the plane's in the air. So Megan didn't give the nanny a chance to say, hey, I don't want to go to Canada. I want to stay in my country. I have elderly parents to take care of or children to look after. I can't be flying to the western coast of Canada, right? Because they ended up on the west coast of Canada, which is you know hours and hours. I mean, how many hours flight is that? It's like 5 hours from London to Canada, then another 5 hours from one end of Canada to the other. You're talking, a whole day of flying, right? They're trying to take this woman out. I mean, Megan didn't tell her. How disrespectful and nasty. See, that shows you what a piece of trash Megan is, that she would treat her nanny like that. Never mind that the fact that they fired all their staff immediately. They're like, "Oh, we're leaving. Surprise, goodbye. We're not coming back." Wow. Megan did not even tell the nanny where they were going. She just tells her, "Get on the plane. You'll find out where you're going." I mean, talk about controlling narcissist right there. That's how disrespectful they are to people. They don't, and Megan had no right to keep that information. If I were the nanny, I would not have gotten on that plane without knowing where it was going. I would have talked to the pilot, and even if she told me, I probably wouldn't believe her until I talked to the pilot, because you can't trust a liar like Megan with anything. Wow, she is so nasty. Um, because I'm sure the nanny wanted to get away from her, and it's a good excuse. Shortly before the end of the year, Megan confided in a member of her staff that the couple were not coming back. The rest of the team did not find out until they held a meeting at Buckingham Palace at the beginning of January 2020. They found it hard to accept they were being dumped just like that. Yeah, so this entire team of people were fired. Like, "Oh yeah, we're not coming back, so you're fired. Goodbye. Good luck getting a new job." They found it, and don't forget, January 2020 was right before, not coincidentally, in my opinion, right before the pandemic, the COVID pandemic began. So you can imagine how difficult it'd be to find a new job when there's a pandemic pouncing on you, right on top of that. They found it hard to accept they were being dumped just like that. Some of them were in tears. It was a very loyal team, said one. Yeah, so this team who took all this abuse of Harry and Meghan day in, day out, and then they just get dumped like trash. That's how Harry and Meghan treat people. They couldn't care about anybody but themselves. Wow. They're so heartless and nasty. Wow. Woo, so I'll do one last throw here. How's Megan feel about this excerpt? The narcissist sociopath. Wow, the bully that she is, nasty narcissist, who treats people like trash, and she wants you to consider her a humanitarian. Yeah, there's a humanitarian for you that treats human beings like garbage. Oh my God, while she walks around wearing the earrings of a murderer. and lies about it. Her and Harry are snickering. And nobody knows who these earrings came from. I mean, talk about sick, twisted, malevolent, evil humor there, right? I mean, what kind of sick, twisted people think like that? Harry and Meghan. I mean, they're truly criminal. So how's Meghan feeling about this excerpt coming out with Valentine Low? How's Meghan feeling about it? Well, it just fell out. Man, take that one. Moon reversed. These are her scandals being revealed. I'm sure she's not happy about that. Judgment reversed. She's getting judged over and over. Not happy about that. Everybody's finding out what she's really about. It's finally coming out here. Wheel of Fortune reversed. Things are just going from bad to worse for Meghan. Everything's out of her control. The narrative is out of her control. Don't forget how important this is, because Meghan always wants to control the media. She's very controlling. So she really hates losing control. She's out of it. Three major arcana is reversed. She's out of her mind right now. Everything's spinning out of control for her. She cannot justify any of this, and she cannot, whitewash this or Oprahify this. Nothing's going to help at this point. Everything's coming out, and it's one thing after another. She just came off of the funeral of the Queen, and now she's got this to deal with, and there's going to be a lot more, I'm sure. I think the gloves are off at the royal family. I think now that the Queen's gone, the gloves are coming off. And I heard the press also said, people in the press said they're going to come after her more too with the truth. We want to know about that baby, where those babies came from. We got to start there. Yeah, Charles paid off the kidnapped nanny. Yeah, I'm glad. Oh, good. I'm glad they better have paid her off. I can't even imagine that, having an employer do that to you. That's psycho. That is true psychopathology there. Meghan should really be in a mental institution, the way she treated people. Not She should have been arrested for that. That is a crime, what she did, kidnapping somebody like that. That really is. Well, anyways, that is what I have for you today, this evening. I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. So until next time, I hope all have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. All right, take care, everyone. Bye bye. Have a good night.